You are watching Influence Media, PSI TV, the Netflix of biz brands.
If you're in the 35 to 65 age range and want to swap out your unhealthy choices for an active lifestyle, this show is for you. My guest today is Jeff Cade, and he's an author and 15-year plus veteran in the health and lifestyle industry. This 15-year plus history has played out in various arenas of the health industry. Following his college degree in hospitality management and a graduate certificate from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, Jeff worked for corporate America for Fortune 500 companies in the nutrition, food, and beverage areas. He co-owned a restaurant which had a healthy menu focus, and he is the author of Battleground Cancer, Managing Your Mental, Physical, and Spiritual Well-Being for the Fight. He's also contributing author to the collaborative project Dared to Be Me Through Cancer. Jeff Cade helps his clients reset, redefine, and repurpose for a health-powered lifestyle. Jeff, thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Judy. Good to be here. Definitely good to be here. How are you?
Fantastic. So, Jeff, there are a lot of providers in the health and wellness space. When people are searching for help and they're overwhelmed with the choices that Google will send back to them, what audience do you find is gravitating more to your offer, and why?
Great question, Trudy. I serve the male and female population of, as you mentioned earlier, 35 to 60, 65 years of age. And as a health coach, I focus on three key ingredients to the recipe of your soul. And that is mindset, diet, and exercise. I believe you can't have one without the other. See, this population or generation of people, they've gone through a lot, and I'm part of that generation too, by the way. They've gone through a lot of stress points that can affect us emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And that's because of my corporate background and co-owning a healthy restaurant concept. But it's also I'm engaged in so much as it relates to vitality, vibrancy, and well-being. And health coaching in those particular categories, I like to serve to uplift their well-being.
Wow. Okay. So you've done a lot of work in the corporate food space. And when you think of the mass scale food feeding, such as when we go on a dinner date or eat fast food, Jeff, since you worked in the food industry where the masses are fed, how would you counsel a person who's on a quest for health when trying to eat on the street or away from home?
Wow, good and tough question, Trudy. So I believe everyone is bio-individual and unique in their own special way. I focus on high protein, high fiber, low carb meals, specifically our green vegetable family. That's right, I said green. And it can be very challenging to eat healthy outside of our doors, right? You kind of have to make your plate of choice very, very colorful. Make it very colorful and have fun doing it. So you can add things like grass-fed meat, grass-fed steak, grass-fed lamb, wild-caught salmon, if need be. You do want to make it fun, as I suggested, so that you can have an array of vegetables, something colorful while you wine and dine. So I typically don't eat a lot of fried foods. When I do, though, I look for salmon croquettes, things of that nature to kind of curb the I guess the way of going astray to fried food. That's a good tendency. But everything, as you know, is in moderation. You can eat very well in moderation, but I definitely like to make my plate pretty colorful when I go out.
Is that how you counsel your clients?
I do. I do actually. Especially it's easier at home, but with today's fast-paced society, it's hard to, or it's challenging to make those home cooked meals, to prep those meals. But you have an opportunity to do so by going out. You just have to be very, very, careful when choosing. And there's nothing wrong with a little bit of cake from time to time, but you just have to do things in moderation.
Hmm. So, Jeff, I bought your book, Battleground Cancer:
Thank
Managing
you.
Your Mental, Physical, and Spiritual Being for the Fight. Now, in that book, you share a very personal story of your mother's cancer and the fight to live. Was this the driving force for your passion for helping others heal?
Yes, it was. I lost my mother to breast cancer, and I also lost my father to pancreatic cancer. Um, and it was very challenging. But, I wanted to share my journey of losing my beloved parents, as I know many of you in the audience know people who've been touched by that terrible disease and other forms of cancer. I believe it was the humanitarian thing to do by adding value and some type of impact, because we all know people in our circle of influence, family and friends, that have lost someone to this terrible disease. And I wanted to make sure that we understand, or you understand, my personal journey as it related to my parents making their transition into spiritual essence, if you will. And so I wanted to make sure that that book was out to the world so people can understand, hey, there's ways to combat, there's ways to curb, there's ways to treat, and there's ways to cure. See, we are not just in the battleground, we are in the battlefield of life. And when you're in that battlefield of life, you have a lot of things going back and forth to and fro, and it's all about being prepared. And it kind of starts with two brains, the one up here and the one down here in the gut. And you just have to understand that, your health is your wealth. Yes.
As you
I
mentioned,
definitely, and one other thing, I definitely wanted to share their story of resolve, perseverance, and resilience, because anyone that hears that word cancer, they start to fold. And there's a lot of hope with that in terms of diagnosis and treatment.
yes, and as much as the word has been bounced around and as many people as have been touched by it, when it's someone for the first time, then they realize how ignorant they are, how little they know, and it's hard. We shouldn't discount the caregivers because they're doing the journey with the ones who are suffering the cancer because they can't do it alone. They're going to need help, and so this does touch the lives of more than just the person who's affected by cancer, which your book shares, which is,
Thank you.
yeah, so that's really good.
Thank you.
So, Jeff, as I was researching you, I found your proclaimed mission to help reset, redefine, and repurpose for a health-powered lifestyle. Now, focus on the word redefine here for a moment, because in today's society, everybody's redefining everything, redefining marriage, redefining gender, redefining what a woman is. So when you say you want to redefine a health-powered lifestyle, what does Jeff Cade mean?
I'm going to tell you, you know, be you, be you and determine your own outcome. So don't allow a doctor's visit to tell you how many pills to take. You know, you have to take your meds as food versus your food as medicines. You have to change your own outcome, your own destiny. And I don't tell my clients anything that I have not done myself. If I'm unhappy or was unhappy with my weight, I knew I had to make a commitment to change. And sometimes change can be difficult, but at the end of the day, it's about you and it's on you to commit to self, because committing to self is closure. And when you have closure, you're happier. You're happier. You're redefining and resetting your mental and physical, emotional well-being, and it's an awesome experience because I've done it. I've had to go through a transformation, and transformation is definitely inevitable if that's what you choose to do. So, yes, that's it. That's it.
Yes, and you said that the transformation is challenging, and I found that the kind of effort it takes to make the transition versus maintain the transition are very, very different. And it's harder on the front end for sure, which is probably where you come in to hold a hand and help people go through that challenging time. Yes.
Yeah, I look at myself not as necessarily a lifestyle coach, but more of a health coach, a healthy lifestyle specialist, being able to empower and partner with people to transform any unhealthy choices into an active and vibrant lifestyle. Change is inevitable, but I'm here to guide. I'm here to assist. I'm here to empower and partner. It's important because sometimes that commitment to self is very challenging. It's very challenging.
You said
There's so many things.
you
Go
s-
ahead.
to help them change a negative lifestyle choice. So that is easy to say. You want to give me an example, because there are people who eat just, I don't know, boredom, whatever the case may be. How do you help them change something like that? Give me an example.
So I remember earlier in our discussion, I said something about making your plate colorful.
Mhm.
So you have to be able to make it colorful, and you also have to be able to curb the portions size of that plate. It's called cutting the plate and making sure that you reduce some of the high caloric intake of your consumption and just reducing some of the things that are on that plate. Because usually, you're really supposed to stop eating when you're not hungry, not when you're all the way full and you're about to burst. And that is a challenge because I remember back in the day, my grandparents and my parents would tell me, eat all the food on your plate because there's starving people all over the country. Well, things have changed now. How about we utilize our talents and donate more food and donate more time and volunteer and help those in need? Because there are a lot of things we put on our plate that are possibly unhealthy choices. And if you do like all of the substance, how about just curbing it, taking it back a bit? That's a starter. Then, of course, add all those green veggies like your Brussels sprouts, your broccoli, your cabbage, your greens, all those, man, nutrient dense foods, and try even plant-based foods. All of that's going to really help your body, and your body will thank you.
Yeah, I think it takes a level of commitment to do that, because I think if people were prepared to do that on their own, they would have done it. I think the people who find a challenge to do that can't do it on their own. So they probably need a coach, an accountability partner, or someone who's just going to get in their head. Maybe you're talking about that mental mindset and stuff. It's just dig deeper and see what really is going on in their head. Jeff, for those watching or listening,
Yes.
do send this out to a podcast as well. They have been diagnosed with something potentially terminal, or they're a caregiver for someone who they have a loved one, like it was your parents in your case. From that vantage point of walking this journey, what would you say to those hurting people today?
Well, first, I want to give a big thank you to all the caregivers out there who are supporting their loved ones and friends. It's very important to look at a holistic alternative approach in dealing with any type of diagnosis, specifically cancer. And I say that because um, it's okay to go through those Western methods and formats. However, the Eastern side of things, such as acupuncture, drinking Chinese herbal black tea. See, all of our teas, mostly black, red, white, green, have very strong antioxidants, and they're there to purify. They're there to cleanse. And more importantly, people need to also do research and add to their diet moringa, astragalus, elderberry. All these things are natural. And see, that's what our body craves and needs. See, cancer, it 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 focuses on the sugar. It thrives on it. And what we need to do is keep sugar out of our system as much as possible. That's why I said going back to something that's nutrient dense, plant-based foods, things that could possibly be different but are healthier for you. You definitely want some of these things in your system, because they begin to build your immune system. And see, that immune system is going to win all the time. That immune system can help, especially when you're boosting it. And as simple as maybe purchasing a different type of water that you may have at home. Try alkaline water. Alkaline with a high pH, which is point of hydrogen. It allows that cleansingness, right? You're cleansing. And of course, water is purity. So it is a matter of just doing some of the research and just understanding that there are a lot of things out here naturally that are good for our bodies that we just have to utilize in terms of this battlefield of life, dealing with cancer and any forms of disease.
So I think we're kind of right up there on the timeline, but Jeff, is there anything else you'd like to share?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you again, Shorty, for allowing me to be on the show. And to your guest, I'm also a varsity head coach, varsity of tennis at Homewood Flossmoor High School. I also am doing a collaborative project on a health application, a health app that's user friendly through your Android or Apple based phones. It's called Healthy Culture 360. You can download Healthy Culture 360, no spaces, Healthy Culture 360, and you'll be able to download that app and create an account. And there's going to be a host of coaches and physicians and therapists there to assist you, and they can answer a lot of your questions. Again, it's user friendly, and it's going through the beta phase, and it should be up and ready probably by the mid or end of September. And finally, I know Trudy mentioned this, but I'm also a co-author of a collaborative project. It's called Dare to Be Me Through Cancer. Dare to Be Me Through Cancer.
Awesome.
On Amazon.
There you have it. There you have it, folks. Jeff Cade is my amazing guest today. Please check out his book, Battleground Cancer, Managing Your Mental, Physical, and Spiritual Well-Being for the Fight. He has that other book. My personal focus is this book because it's the one I bought. It's the one I read. So I can say that one is something that I'm saying, go check out. And also check out his website, jeffcade360.com. And those resources will be mentioned again in the credits at the end. Thank you so much, Jeff, for being my guest today.
Thank you. Have a great day. Appreciate you.